Hello, this is your author Mark, and I want to invite you for another interesting YouTube discussion. Today, we're going to call this discussion the elusive peace in Ukraine. Now, a lot of people are talking about, and a lot of my friends are talking about this, how come there's no peace in Ukraine yet? Well, there are several factors that are contributing to this kind of a problem, because and here's the problem why it is hard. It's going to be very hard to achieve peace in Ukraine. That is, number one is the money. Number two, I personally feel that and from the research that I have done, is that the peace in Ukraine is so elusive and hard to find, is because I don't think our politicians know what they're doing. Because they know that we're going to make this deal with them, they're going to make that deal with them, and it's okay. But here's the thing: they do not, or they can't wrap their head around that it is the most important part in order for the peace deal with Ukraine to go through and work. Actually, is so that it has to be done in such a way that either of those men, whether Vladimir Putin or Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, or Vladimir Putin of Russia, these guys cannot afford to lose face. Now, yes, there are some territorial exchanges that have to be done, everything else, but what the people do not understand, and this is where cultural understanding comes to play, is that they do not understand the Slavic culture, because to be honest with you, neither of these men, whether Vladimir Putin of Russia or Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, cannot afford to lose face in front of their people. Because let's look at it this way: if any of those men lose face, then they know this too, and they know this quite well too, is that if either of those men lose face, and then the people, whether Ukrainian people or the Russian people, will lose confidence in their leaders, then those guys will be out of the job, whether Vladimir Putin of Russia or Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine. And if they lose face, they'll be out of the job. So they know this too. Now, and the other reason why the peace in Ukraine is very difficult to achieve at this time is because, and this is understandable too, is that Vladimir Zelensky is worried about that if he gives too much concessions to the Russians, then the Russians already took over Crimea in Ukraine and all those other places, Lugansk and the other thing. They took over those places, and now he's also worried, and Zelensky's worried about how much concessions is he going to have to give to the Russians. He's worried about that he's going to have to give the concessions to the Russians too. Now, if he gives too much concessions to the Russians and gives in, then he'll obviously lose his job. And then if what's his name, Vladimir Putin of Russia, does not flex his muscle, and shows the Russian people that he is the strong man, then he's going to be in trouble. So I mean, everybody's crying, and yelling peace in Russia, peace in Ukraine now. But, to achieve this so-called peace deal with Russia and Ukraine, there are lots of things have to be worked out now. Because I mean, there's cultural sensitivities that we have to worry about. That there's also economic things that we have to consider. Because let's talk about this. We all know that we, as the United States, we do import a lot of things out of Ukraine, to be honest with you, and nobody's talking about that. A lot of things that we import from Ukraine, like wheat, some oil, some other things. We do import those things nowadays from Ukraine, especially wheat for bread and for other, for example, baked goods. So I mean, to be honest with you, and achieving peace with Russia in Ukraine, it is not as easy as it looks on TV. I mean, a lot of those talking heads. I mean, yes, I like to listen to the BBC. I like to listen to Fox Business Network. I like to listen to other news coverage of this Ukrainian crisis, but like I said, those people are forgetting that what it seems to me, and I'm right about this, is they do not understand. Like I said, like I've been saying all along, is that they do not understand the Slavic mindset, and not. And when we talk about losing face, when you negotiate something and you lose face as a leader, I mean, oh yes, Slavic people have this in common, that sometimes it's going to look bad when you lose face in front of your own people. But as far as the Asian culture is concerned, like the Chinese, the Filipinos, and other Asian countries also have this thing called that. You have when it comes to negotiations, you have this and that. But the importance of not losing face is also important in Slavic culture and also in Asian culture. So I hope that you have learned something from this video, and you can give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you like. You can say hello to me on Facebook and my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in my next video.